We're recording. Good evening. Welcome to our Sunday evening Live Your Passion Rally planning meeting. We were just talking a little bit of social media promotion with Megan, who's our go-to on that part of the event. Megan, would you mind just repeating that statement about how to help and share thoughts?
Sure. So I will kind of take the reins as far as posting in the Facebook event for this rally. But if anybody has any ideas, we do have our Facebook group where you can, if you just have an idea and you kind of want me to nurture it and post it myself, I can do that. So you can post it in our Facebook planning group, but don't feel like you can't post in the Facebook event for the rally either.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Megan. And one thing I will add to that is we were talking before I started recording, about being mindful about how many posts we do put in that event. So again, I think if we can let Megan kind of control the flow of the posts in the event, we really don't want to get more than a couple of posts a day in there because everyone who's invited will see those posts. And we don't want to bug people. We want it to be fun for them. But yeah, if you do feel something is important to post in there, please do go right ahead and do that. Okay, so tonight I would really love to focus on the swag bags and the giveaways so that we stay on budget and on target with that. I'd like to firm up a little more on the event flow and our own topics of presentation. And let me pop my screen down so I can see my notes. And I would also like to maybe firm up the number of volunteers that we need. There are a couple of little itty bitty guys that I'd also like to tick off tonight. So let me go ahead and do that. One is, does anyone feel strongly about having any kind of coordinated event wear? That would be something that would be out of our own pocket. But it could be something as simple as if you have a Young Living branded t-shirt or polo shirt that you'd like to wear, that'd be awesome. I did do for the very first rally that I did back in Illinois, we made up t-shirts. It was a baseball t-shirt and it had the Live Your Passion Rally logo on it. They ended up being a little pricey. They were almost $20 a piece. So I don't know if we really feel strongly about doing that. Does anyone have an opinion on that one way or the other?
My feeling is, I don't know if my audio is on. Yeah, my feeling is that I don't like that stuff, but that's
Cool.
my own personal feeling. Now, I have some oil regalia clothes at home that I would probably just wear on my own. That shows I'm an oiler. So I wouldn't want to buy a new shirt personally.
Okay, cool. So not being out of pocket is fine with everybody. And do we just want to leave it?
That's only me.
Hey, I think I'm going to make a blanket statement that we're all in the place of having an awesome event without being out of pocket. Is that fair enough for most of us?
Definitely.
Okay. So, if you have a Young Living branded shirt you'd like to wear, honestly, knock yourself out, enjoy it, love it. If you just want to wear whatever you might wear if you had a class offering, that's perfect too. Does that sound great for everybody?
Yeah. I think if we make a goal for ourselves, so if we say we want to get 50 tickets sold, that would be a little bit of growth from our past rally. But if we made it like a bigger goal and we hit the goal, then the next time we did a rally, we could choose to do that, but not for this one.
That's a great idea. So it's a way of rewarding ourselves, right? And kind of branding the event even more going forward. Awesome. I love that idea, Megan. Thank you. The other thing I'm wondering about is signage at the venue. Last time I had, it might have just been a legal size photocopy that I had made up and had laminated. So I still have that. Now, Michelle, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Moran Prairie Library in Spokane. Have you been there?
I don't know. I know Spokane pretty well.
Okay.
Moran Prairie is South Hill?
Yep, South Hill, over by 57th and Regal.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I was just there last night, in fact. So,
oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So we're using
so
them.
I can come up Hatch Hill.
Yes, you can.
And, right. Okay.
Yes, you can. So we're using.
And what time?
Okay, so the event is from 10 to...
Sorry, I'm
No, you're
probably
fine.
getting you off schedule.
No, you're fine. The event is from 10 to 2 on
Okay.
Saturday, July 14th. We have the
Yes.
space from 8:30 to 3:30, so we have plenty of time to get things set up and to actually have time to talk with our friends afterwards without having to shoo them out as we're packing up to get out of the space. So you may be familiar then with the meeting room. We are in the large meeting room in that space. It has its own separate entrance. And
Oh, that's nice.
there, you know, there isn't really a whole lot of opportunity for signage. We could do a big vinyl banner, but again, I'd rather put the money into what we give back to people in terms of sampling and whatever swag bag. So I'll just put that out
Right.
there. Yes, Len.
I think if we had 2 tripods that we could attach our little laminated signs to, because you know, it's once you're in the lobby, you know, it's kind of okay, but especially on that outside, the private door, we kind of had hoped most people use that, and it didn't happen that way, you know. So I think the majority of people are going to use that main entrance unless we had direct signage that really encouraged them to come in, and I don't think it really matters. But,
Yeah.
but I think tripods are the way to go to give us more visibility.
Okay. I have had some of those inexpensive folding tripod stands in the past. You mean like a full height one, right?
Yes, yes.
So I've had a couple of those ones that just collapse into themselves in the past. They're not terribly expensive, but I don't think I have one now because the elastic in them tends to break. But you know, that's after many uses. So I don't think they're expensive, and I can certainly investigate doing that. I do see some advantage in having something outside. And I do see your point about something inside the library as well, so that people get directed to the right place. Because, you know, it can be a little confusing. You just walk into this big open room at the library and then, well, now where do I go? So if we're all comfortable with it just being like a photocopy laminated sign instead of some expensive sign, then I can certainly do that inexpensively.
We could also maybe just get a cheesy couple little helium balloons just to attract the eye. You know, something like that wouldn't cost much at all.
Okay, in the color scheme of the logo then? Okay, yep, I think that's a good idea. Any other thoughts from anybody? What about our displays inside and tablecloths and that kind of thing? Any thoughts on any of that?
Did you have anything last time on the tables?
I don't remember having much. I just have one large Young Living logo tablecloth that I use for vendor events, and it's purple. But we do have some tablecloths here at home for, I'm trying to remember, their tables were longer, weren't they? Do you guys remember?
Their tables were like 5 feet by 32 inches wide or something like that.
Yeah, because we have some
wider than most little ones.
Yeah, we have some burgundy colored tablecloths. I have a long green one. And I think we kind of decided that maybe it wasn't really necessary. The tables were in very good shape. It wasn't like they needed to be covered up.
Right.
I'd hate to have eclectic hodgepodge. I think that would look, I'd rather have naked than hodgepodge.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. And maybe just the check-in table has something.
Or the talking table where you're up there, you know,
Okay.
where the lecture table,
Yeah.
maybe. That way we're strongly in our visual.
I like
Yeah.
that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I agree.
All righty. Okay, so are there any other details like that? I don't think we need to talk about the room setup so much tonight. I thought the idea from last time worked okay. Michelle, I don't know if you've been in a meeting in the room, but they have an audiovisual cart that gives us a way to project the presentation, and they have speakers, and the one wall of the room has a large whiteboard and a screen for all of that. So it really does make sense to set up in rows of chairs in front of that for the majority of the presentation, which leaves some room, like alleyway size room on the sides for a Ningxia bar and whatever kind of vending things we have. And then by the door for check-in. Now we might want to swap it and have the check-in by the entrance from the library. That's something that we can finalize as we get closer. And I put together, I think Len and I put together a little floor plan last time. So we'll do that before the event and send that out to everybody so everybody can get an idea and make suggestions. But we won't focus on that so much tonight. But I did want to, I wanted to talk a little bit about the event flow. One of the way I had described it before, and the way I'm still kind of thinking about this, is we're there to get set up from 8:30 till 10 is set up. We can open doors at 9:30 for people to check in. That should give us plenty of time to be ready to greet our guests as they come in. Start the presentation at 10. I'd like to start with the Young Living material. Michelle, I think you said you've been to one of these before. You may remember that Young Living provides a great deal of content for these events. They provide videos, they provide PowerPoints, and so we can swap out who's actually doing the talking on the PowerPoints. I'm very comfortable doing that, but I certainly don't have to be the one doing it. And then we can also add in whatever trainings that we like. At this point, I don't know how much of the Young Living material is going to be about the new products from convention. I do feel like we should be covering a fair amount of that at some point during our rally, because people will have the opportunity to experience those products. So I do want to make sure that we cover the Savvy Minerals, the new product extensions there, and that could the Orange Blossom extensions could be included with that, all part of skincare. We have a couple of more additions to the over-the-counter line. So maybe we can do a summer fun section that has the sunscreens and the insect repellent, the after sun care. So maybe this is a place where we should pop our ideas into the event planning group and get some votes going on the things that we'd like to cover. I know Len wants to do a breakout on essential oils and dudes, or however he wants to call it. So the way I'm thinking of the flow is we start with the Young Living material at 10. They usually give us about an hour and a half worth of material. Would you say that's right, Megan?
It sounds about right to me.
Michelle,
from
yeah.
what I've been to. The last one I attended, they did a lot more local speaking than they did the information from headquarters.
Okay.
Which I kind of felt like then I missed some of the presentations from headquarters. Who is responsible for downloading all of those, and will have the thumb drive or laptop or whatever?
I will take care of that part of the presentation. Okay. And so I will also be collecting any PowerPoint or presentation media from anyone who is presenting as well, in addition to the Young Living material. So yeah, I'll take care of that, and I will have my computer there. You will be able, I use PowerPoint, so anyone who is presenting will be able to see any speaker notes.
Oh, that's great.
So that it does make it a lot easier to be able to present with all of that. So yeah, so that's one worry off of other people's minds. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but in order to protect the material that they're releasing for the rallies, Young Living is usually pretty late about getting the videos to us.
Yes, they are.
Last time it was a little earlier, and I imagine they'll do that again. I think they released them on Wednesday last time, something like that. So hopefully we'll have them Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll know exactly where they're focusing. And I know Peggy was interested in sharing on the vitality oils. I think there's a really nice opportunity there to make up a big batch of the einkornberry pilaf and having that available for people to snack on as kind of a lunch item if they want to. So my thought is that we'll have pretty solid sit in your chair presentation kind of content, at least till 11:30, maybe till noon. And then we'll have, say, an hour where people can walk around, have experiences. This would be also an opportunity for short breakout sessions, maybe even like one corner of the room, someone is sharing on Savvy Minerals and doing a Savvy Minerals demonstration. In another corner of the room, maybe someone is doing the aroma reset technique from Dr. Perkis. Maybe in another corner, Len's doing a presentation on dyes and oils. And I don't know, that may just be nuts. That may not work at all. So I really want your thoughts on, if I'm saying this event is from 10 to 2, what's the best way to fill that time? I do think we need to build a lunch break into it, but I would love for people not to feel they had to leave this space and that there was something else going on in the space at that time if they wanted to be there. So we will have a Ningxia Red bar. I have Zing, I have Nitro, I have Sleek Shakes. So if people wanted a Sleek Shake for lunch, we'll have Ningxia Red, Sleek bars. And like I said, I would like, maybe Peggy would be willing to do this. I can't remember if she's here in Spokane or not, to make up a big bowl of the einkornberries pilaf, maybe a cold salad. Len makes a delicious cold salad. Your couscous salad, Len, this would work well with that too. Except that has feta cheese in it. So we'd have to make a decision if we want it to be vegan or just vegetarian to accommodate. Len, just because you're a carnivore and an omnivore doesn't mean everyone else is.
I'm willing to go vegetarian. I'm not willing to go vegan. I think if people are vegan, they have to take care of themselves. That's how I feel.
That's so generous. Okay.
But what I did want to make a comment on that break time. I think we want to encourage people to stay. So I think Megan, part of our Facebook blasts prior to the event should be once we decide what our things are, really encouraging that and knowing that there's going to be some things there and encouraging people to, maybe they have a recipe with oils they want to share. Who knows? Make it some people might have fun. But I think having simultaneous displays might be confusing. I think we could have someone manning the Ningxia bar and someone manning a merchandise table. But if we had two people doing a demo, we get torn. I want to see that. And then maybe I don't see anything.
Or does one overtalk questions and the presenter overtalk the discussion in the other corner?
Right. And that's a good point, Michelle. It's really not that big of a room.
It's not.
Yeah.
And we could do multiple things. We could say if we wanted to do some certain things that they could be 10 minutes. Most of those little things can be a 10-minute little, hey, because we don't want to kill them with stuff. We want to pique their interests and get them jazzed.
So I'll just put it out there. Do you guys think it would work then to have, let's say, an hour break, we'll call it a break, between 12 and 1, which is when they can sit down and eat their lunch maybe we even have a couple of tables set up. They could wander around to the Ningxia Red bar. They can look at whatever items we have for sale, but there will also be someone kind of centrally doing a presentation, maybe a 10-minute chat, and we have 3 or 4 of those during that hour. What do you think?
I feel like if somebody was doing a talk, that people wouldn't get up and walk around.
Okay.
Like, I feel like they would still want to sit down
and
not be like distracting the people who are listening. So I'm not sure.
So
I'm
maybe
not sure if the talking and the browsing work at the same time.
Okay. So what are some thoughts on how to make this flow work now that I set it up as a 4-hour thing over lunchtime? Well,
I like what Megan says. I think if if that break time is maybe more about like if we had cool displays of the makeup, a cool display of the summertime stuff, a cool display of animal scent, you know, whatever we decided, and we had someone intelligent manning the table, you know, and then there's the merchandise and the Ningxia bar, that that becomes more of a almost a networking session of it, where people are talking products, saying what they like, meeting each other, you know, sharing their stories. Because I think that stuff is powerful.
Okay, so do go ahead and take an hour, like between 12 and 1, and let it be the experiential time. This is the time you can wander over and get your hands on some Savvy Minerals or the new products. Take a look, and we'll maybe have 3 or 4 stations with someone who has some knowledge or product sheets that can talk about it comfortably. Does that sound right?
That sounds good to me. I think we need to try to prevent them from leaving, not like they're in prison, but I think if they go out to lunch, it's harder for them to come back. So if we had
and on time,
an organized break where if we're telling them bring your own lunch and you're welcome, and then it's just more of a casual presentation, or you know, where they could go like to the Savvy Mineral and try the makeup and that kind of thing on their own.
Yeah,
okay.
I think if it was set up kind of like when you go to a vendor event and there's different vendors that you can stop and talk to them and then go on to the next one, go to the ones you want to without there being like a formal presentation going on anywhere, I think that would work really well. Casual, like networking type of style.
Okay.
Learning about the products that you want to, because there will be a few different choices. So, yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. So you all think that will work for that hour time? And
yes.
Then these other topics that we've talked about, the vitality with Peggy and oils for dudes, we'll just go ahead and give you a solid 15 minutes in the non-lunch hour presentation time.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. So, and I
So
think
then, sorry, I just want to then say, let's make sure, if that's the time slot, let's make sure we, whatever time we are allotted for that, let us, that are going to do something, make sure we don't exceed that.
Right. Yeah. I think that's probably the next step, is really solidifying the actual time slots and who'll be talking when and what they'll be talking on.
And we can always have a timer on a phone or something too.
Yeah, and there is a clock on the wall in the back of the room, which is really helpful. So, okay, I'm getting excited, you guys. So the thing I'll do is I will pop into the planning group the suggestions we have on breakout sessions. Megan, is there anything that you'd like to teach on this time?
Nothing has really come to mind. I'm kind of wondering what Young Living is going to give us.
I know, that's the challenge, right? But if there's something that overlaps, there's no reason why you can't do the part of the presentation that Young Living gives us too.
Okay.
You know, I have to admit, I've been doing this for so long. I could riff for an hour on just about anything Young Living. So, you know, if we find ourselves at the last minute with an overlap, that must be my dog. I'm hearing it.
It is. Puppy.
If we find there's an overlap between something we've already selected and what Young Living gives us, we can probably pretty easily fill that other time.
Okay, I was hoping to do another business presentation since we've got kind
Awesome.
of the guys is going to kind of be a mix between the oils and the, you know, business side.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then the vitality is product focused. So I was hoping to do something business side to kind of reach all the areas.
Excellent. And do you have a thought on what part of business you might want to talk about. You know, is there a new tool that you're using that you like? One of the things, I would actually like to try to coordinate some of the things in their swag bag with the talks as well. One of the things that I'm thinking of putting in the swag bag is this. It's just a real simple, it's called transfer buying form. Have you guys seen this? It's super simple. It's a 2-part.
Is it like a right through part? Yeah.
Yep, it's just a 2-part, and they're like pennies a piece. So this is a super easy way for a leader to start building their business and helping people get on essential rewards by showing them, you know, you use shampoo, you use conditioner, guess what? We have those products. And then on, you know, it asks them which products do you use, and then on the other side, it shows them the Young Living products that are options for that. So, you know, if we can provide a simple tool and train on a simple tool, that would be a cool thing. Just a thought.
So one of the ideas that I had written down, because I was looking for swag bag ideas for our talk.
Yeah.
One of them was the Fearless Game Plan minis.
Okay.
When you buy them, do you know what I'm talking about?
Sure. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you buy them in bulk from Sarah's website, they are, you can get 50 of each, and they are like $115 with shipping, which is like $1.15 per book. So,
and would you want to give them both Fearless and the mini?
Yeah, if you had 50 people or less, that would make sense to give them both. But the transfer buying sheet that you have kind of goes along with the Fearless. I think I've never read it, but I listen to Sarah.
It does. You know, she does provide a tool on her website. Unfortunately, it's not compliant. So this one is.
I don't know. Is it a transfer buying tool that she has?
It's very similar. It says if you have this, use this.
Okay.
But I don't know, maybe she's updated it in the past couple of months, but when it first came out, it was not compliant. But that would certainly be something to look at, because at least, you know, it goes along graphically with the minis, the books.
Right. Yours is not branded at all, is it? It's just like a...
It does have Oils in Harmony on the bottom, but it is not branded.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because when you showed that, I was thinking, I think Fearless is just like getting to know that Young Living has those options for, you know, things that you are using already. So
yeah. I like that idea. There's also let me see if I can find it. I just picked them up. Here it is. Essential Sharing Simple. This is from Vicki and Chris Opfer, and it is a condensed, very accessible version of their Essential Sharing in Action. I think these are $2.50 a piece, and it actually gives a script in the back. You could run a class from it, but it's for. I just like their welcome. It says, someone handed this to you. Why? Maybe you're interested in sharing with a friend or a loved one who has expressed interest in learning more about Young Living oils. Maybe you're curious about this as a business. Maybe the person who shared this booklet with you really cares about you. I mean, I just love it's total non-business approach to the business, as opposed to Sarah, which is really kind of a, you know, we all have challenges, get yourself out of them approach. It's a little more in your face. This is a little more kumbaya. So they're both really good tools. But if you wanted to teach on Fearless and the Game Plan Mini, I think that's a great idea. And we don't
have to.
No, I love her tools. I love them. I really do.
I like the transfer. I love the transfer buying sheets that you have. I know I looked at getting them in the past, but for that, I'm not like relating to a business presentation. I'm not really sure how I would connect them right now. So,
well, I mean, just like Sarah talks about in Fearless, this is about helping people see that we're more than just essential oils. So it really does kind of go hand in hand with those two tools very nicely. And like I said, that one's kind of pennies on the barrel, so I'm happy to put that in the swag bag too. So I think that's a great idea. I like that. Let's put that in there as a business tool and as a business training. I do have one of the other things I've been thinking about for the swag bag. I don't know if you're familiar with some of these tear sheets from Life Science Publishing. This one is aroma flavor, which I think would go really nicely with what Peggy wants to talk about on the vitality oils. It has a recipe for almost every vitality oil. It's just got one recipe or one use. So it's got lemon, celery seed, endoflex, dill, and these things end up being about 18 cents a page, which I think is incredible. So I was going to toss one of those in there for the vitality portion of the presentation. Unfortunately, not all of them are compliant. So this Aroma Home one, it's a checklist. I don't find it particularly helpful, and it's not compliant. So there you go. We won't do that one. But there is an Aroma Family one, which has recipes, and it's got some suggestions for dads and men. So this might tie in with what you're doing, Len. It's got a couple of recipes for women, a couple for dads and men, a couple for the kiddos, some DIYs, and some animals and pets suggestions. So maybe those two, the transfer buying sheet and the minis. So that's going to get us up to maybe not even $3.50. And then if we can, I'll put in a sachet of the Mighty Pro. That gets a little more expensive. I did some pricing on this stuff earlier. The Mighty Pro works out to about $1, a little more than $1 a piece. And Michelle, you mentioned those magnet clip-ons. That's $2
right.
a piece. I really love those. So let's see if we do. Remind me again, Megan, you said we can get 50 of each for $118. Is that right?
It was it's $100.06 plus $15 shipping.
And that was for a total of 100 booklets, 50 of each. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So that works out to 50 cents a booklet, so $1 to have those in there. Am I right, or am I getting myself confused?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's $1. The tear sheets, 36 cents, so $1.36. Let me see, the transfer buying is 29 cents a piece, so it's $1.70. And then the Mighty Pro is $1.09, so now we're up to $3.80. And the magnetic clips, so that would be $5.80. That's almost our limit. It might even be our limit. We end up with, Michelle, I talked about this a little last time, but we'll have about $7.76 per attendee. And that needs to include at least a chunk of the cost of the giveaways. So about $5, a little more than $5 we can spend per person. If we, yeah, go ahead.
I think the books are actually $2.20 something for both the books, because one book is $1, one other book is $1. So that would be $1 whatever more for both books.
Oh, okay, right. They're right, $1 a piece. $1 a piece.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So would we rather, I want to make sure that we have some Young Living product in there. So right now, I mean, there are a bunch of things that we could sample and put in there. From, let's see, the Mighty Pro is $1.09 a piece. Thieves Household Cleaner is $2.20 a piece.
You mentioned the Alkaline last time.
Yeah, Alkaline is 99 cents a piece. Mindwise is $2.26 a piece. Master Formula is $2.73 a piece. Sleek Tea is 81 cents, and that's actually back in stock.
I love the Sleek Tea. I think that's a great idea.
Do you like Sleek Tea?
I do.
Okay.
Lenny's
I
raising
have a
his-
question.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, we mentioned a lot of different products, and those swag bags are already right now, especially if each booklet was $1. We're already kind of beyond. We've hit the limit almost. I like a lot of those products, though. Does every swag bag have to have the same thing, or could we have like one has tea and a shot of Ningxia, the other has this and a that? Like, do they have to be the same?
I think it's easier if they're the same, and I think you're less likely to have people going, well, why didn't I get that in my bag?
Okay.
I don't know. That's me. I would look at somebody else's and say, oh, I want that one. That's me. I don't know. Thoughts?
And there is a good point to having them be identical, because you can line up 50 bags or sacks, whatever you're using, and just collate in like a paper assembly. You just go back and forth and you make sure you drop one in each bag, rather than, okay, so this one gets tea, but this one gets something else, and this one gets a third item.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, then I guess my suggestion is, Megan, if you want to teach on the Fearless and Game Plan Mini, let's put those in there. Let's put the tea in there. Let's put a sachet of the Mighty Pro. And we'll put just the one tear sheet to go with the Vitality and the transfer buying sheet. Oh, guess what? I also have Savvy Minerals catalogs. I have enough of those. I'd like to put those in there. That's 75 cents, but even if that's just a gift from me, I want to put that in there. And then, Michelle, let's have the magnet clip-ons as an item for purchase. We'll have that as a vending item.
Okay. How many do you think you would like to have?
That's an excellent question.
Because, like I said, I did buy a bunch, and I would just need to know if I have to order more.
Yeah. Because I don't want you left holding the bag on those.
Well, I've already paid for what I ordered before. So it might be nice to recover that and then order new too.
Right.
Because
How many do you have on hand right now?
Well, I would have to count. I have. You guys can go on. Don't wait for me to count, because I have to open up one of these.
Well, while we're waiting, I'll say, Tricia, do you have a focus on your camera? Because you're fuzzy.
I'm fuzzy?
Me?
Tricia.
Oh, Tricia.
No, I don't. It's doing the best it can. It looks good to me. Sorry, honey. No. Maybe I need to put more light on. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know.
No.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter if I'm fuzzy. Okay. So I think we've got an idea on the swag bag. I still, this is just, maybe again, this is just me, but I like the idea of giving it to them in an actual reusable shopping bag. And I've seen some on Amazon for as low as $1 a piece. I just feel like that makes it really easy, and then we don't have to have bags at the vending tables. They can just put everything in there. How do you all feel about that?
Just keep an eye on the price points. That's all I'm concerned.
So I will say that I have not used my bag that I got.
Okay, fair enough.
And I don't know if that's just me or, I mean, we use reusable shopping bags like when we go grocery shopping, but they're bigger and they're like rectangular, so it's not, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw a different size and shape one. It's not a fold into itself one that I think would be more likely to be used. But you know, we could easily, I just think with the couple of smaller items, and yet we have the full size things, and then we have the really tiny sachet. I mean, that Mighty Pro sachet is like super small. You don't want it to get lost. I don't think just handing stuff to people is going to work.
Did we discount the brown paper bag idea?
The brown paper bag, it would need to be like a handled bag, I think. So
like
that
shopper bag,
like a craft bag, yeah, that would certainly work. Or Michelle's idea, you know, trying to think. The Fearless books, the minis are really small books. So, but we'd have to get some pretty big organza bags for those to fit in. I haven't really found organza bags that they fit into easily. You know, we could put the tea and the sachet of Mighty Pro into an organza bag.
I bought bags that are like 7 by 11 or something like that on Amazon. They're the organza. They're from Sarah's purple bag that she does. I bought the bigger ones though because I had like a 5 by 7 card and I needed bigger bags than she does. She does like 4 by 6, I think. So I had to buy the organza, the bigger size up. But for the flyer thing, it would have to be folded in half.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that we want, you know, I don't mind if mine is, but maybe other people are a little more particular about that. So maybe the idea of a big, just a brown paper bag to put things in for people might be just the easiest thing to do. I'm sure that would be cheaper than those reusable bags. So I would look into that. Yeah.
And then if you wanted, I know on Avery you can design your own stickers. So if you bought a package of stickers and put like the Rally logo on it, you could just slap them on the craft bag.
Love it.
There we are. I think that's all perfect.
I like that.
Awesome. That's what we shall do then. That's what we shall do. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the giveaways. I have one of the Orange Blossom Charcoal Bar Soap. I have Savvy Minerals Mascara. We're going to get a Shutron Shave Cream to tie in with Len's conversation. And the big giveaway is a lantern diffuser. And I'm glad I ordered it because I have it and it's out of stock. So the one thing I'm wondering about that, just to make sure that we stay on target budget-wise, I don't know if this is legal, so I'll put this out there. But would all of you feel comfortable with giving people the opportunity to buy an additional raffle ticket for $1 that would just be for the final drawing for the lantern?
What if we did Young Living Foundation? Oh, you need to keep it in the budget.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, I'll see how things go with the swag bags, but some of this depends on, you know, getting 50 people there for these giveaways. The giveaways right now, and like I said before, I've got a bunch of oils and things that I can throw in and not worry about that. But right now we're at 147 on the giveaways.
With those 4 things, right?
With those 4 bigger items, yeah.
Okay. So how many tickets would we have to sell to cover that?
So that's an excellent question.
That and the swag bag.
Right. I'll have to do the math on that. My spreadsheet is not set up for that right now. And you know, I can pull items out, but seeing we've got so much time, I think 4 giveaways is probably 4 bigger giveaways is a reasonable thing. Less than that would kind of be like, are they giving anything away or not? So I'll just put that out there as a possibility, depending on how things go. I'll be there in a second. I'll be there in a second, Len. depending on how things go with ticket sales, you know, is there an option or a possibility of allowing people to buy one extra raffle ticket for the big item for $1? Because we would probably sell another $30 in tickets.
I'm guessing that is not legal. I don't know.
It's not. Well, here's the law, because I know the law for that. You have to get approval from the Washington law gambling. However, and it doesn't cost that much, and it's not that big of a hassle to do. However, I can tell you, people all over all the time do little raffles. And for us to, if we wanted to worry about it, we could. But we can very easily have a raffle, have them drop a couple of bucks, then, you know, we're basically covering our costs. I don't believe anyone's going to come in and narc on us.
And it wouldn't be, it would just be an opportunity to buy an additional, because they're going to get a raffle ticket with their, you know, their ticket, ticket purchase. So, I mean, it's just a thought if we find ourselves with not quite the attendance that we're hoping for. Michelle, was there something you wanted to add? It looked like you were trying to say something.
Oh, well, just the whole gambling thing, which I wasn't thinking about initially, but that's accurate that it does fit into that. If you're asking for an extra $1.
Okay. Another option, Megan, you kind of went there for me. I hadn't been thinking about it. Would it be the same thing if they wanted to get an extra ticket by making a $1 donation that we would pass along to the Young Living Foundation? That to me sounds like something else. That doesn't sound like a raffle. They're making a donation and they would get a ticket in exchange. Thoughts?
That's totally legal. That's a donation. So you can do that as long as we, you know, tracked that and had records in case anyone asked.
Any thoughts on that? Do you guys like that kind of idea?
I like it separate from making sure you're staying within your budget.
Right. Right. As long as we know we're in our budget, it might be a fun thing to do to give people an opportunity to buy an extra ticket and raise a little money for the foundation at the same time. Any other thoughts on that?
And I think it's okay to, for the big ticket item, the lantern diffuser, I think it's okay to sell a separate raffle for that. And I don't think we have to worry about it, especially if we didn't advertise it on the Facebook or the event and we just announced and said, hey, guess what we've got?
Like at that 1 hour break, we could say, hey, here's your chance to get another entry.
Right.
$1.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. I think those are both really nice ideas. And, you know, as long as we're on track with budget, I would love to do it and raise a little money for the foundation. So let's just say we'll do it either way.
Okay, so I think for just those 4 items that you had mentioned, you would have to sell about 36 tickets at the the lower cost to cover-ish, 36 tickets to cover those.
The full
was that
amount?
For just the giveaway or giveaway and swag bag?
The swag. So if it's $10 and we're like at a $6 swag, that's $4 for the giveaways. So 4 times 36 is about that 147-ish number.
Right, but it's only $7.76 per ticket that we get because we're absorbing the fees.
Okay, so you have to sell a lot more tickets than 36.
Right. Right.
So you'd only have if swag is $6, what price were we trying to keep it at?
I think we need to keep it at $5. So.
Okay. So then that only gives us $2 per ticket for a giveaway-ish.
Right. So even at 50 tickets, we're a little short.
Okay.
So maybe we do away with one of the items.
Maybe it depends on.
Why don't we? Yeah, I think we were about to say the same thing. Why don't we plan on, let's say that we're doing 3, and if ticket sales go really well, we can add another item, you know, and that might just be nice. So we could kind of keep that flex based on where we're at.
I agree.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, guys, well, we're getting close to our hour, and I don't really want to run over time, but let me just double check, make sure we touched on the things that I had on my mind. A couple of things that are on my mind still are the specific stations that we'll have set up for experiences and how many volunteers we need to cover that. Because we're probably at that point where we need to start firming up who's going to be doing what at those breakout stations. So what I can do is I'll post that in our planning group, and we can start taking comments on who's feeling comfortable with doing what. That's one of our cats walking through our bedroom. Thanks, honey. But other than that, I mean, I know it probably feels a little loosey-goosey to all of us, but I'm actually really feeling pretty comfortable with where we are right now. Does anyone have any thoughts or questions, things that you really think we need to get on top of?
Just ensuring who's doing what in a timely manner, you know, and it's like, I don't know how anyone else feels, but I'd be fine if you wanted to do this, Tricia, just make an assignment sheet. I know some people have already committed to stuff, but just say, well, you know, Lenny, you're gonna stick the stickers on the bags, you know, and I'm like, boom, done, you know, or however. I'd be fine with you just assigning tasks.
Okay, well, what I can do is maybe I'll make up a Google Sheet of the different assignments, and people can just fill their own name in for what they would like to do. And if we have a bunch of empty spots, I'll go ahead and assign people. What do you think of that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you know off the top of your head how many tickets have been purchased already?
2.
Okay.
2. And they're not any of ours. They came through the Young Living website.
Awesome.
That's good.
Because the event only just got posted. You know, I think with convention things were a little behind. So it just got posted on the Young Living website. Might have been midweek. So people are finding it. But our job is really to start spreading the word and getting our teams there.
Are we paying as well?
No.
I know we're donating the time, but...
Right. That's
okay.
it. That's your financial commitment. It's your
okay.
the time. And anyone who volunteers, you know, if we need volunteers in addition to those on the planning committee, we may not. We may be able to get everything covered ourselves. But, you know, the few extra hands that help out will also get a free ticket.
Okay. And I have 17 of the oil clips.
You have 17. Okay.
And so that, well, it's 17 pairs.
Oh, 17 pairs. Gosh, you know, Michelle,
Yeah.
I think that's probably enough. We didn't
okay.
we weren't really blasting through vending stuff last time. I think people were really more curious and looking at things they might be interested in purchasing for themselves somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah. And well, and I understand that too. I am sometimes kind of not as willing to buy at an event, but I want to look at it. And it is the opportunity to touch and feel and so forth.
Yeah. So you can price them at whatever price point works for you.
Okay.
You know? And it, you know, I have a whole bunch of templates already made up for pricing and things like that. So if you want me to handle that for you, or if you want me to just email you something that you can modify, I'm happy to do that.
Sure, that's always helpful. It's a place to start. I'm good at making forms. I did that professionally, but
Woo.
Sometimes to have a
You shouldn't let people know about that, Michelle. We're going to be taking advantage of that. Okay, well, we're actually a little after 8, but does anyone have anything else they'd like to add before we wrap up? No?
So is our next call next Sunday?
I think that makes sense. I think as we're getting closer, we probably are going to need to be every week. And then, yeah, so next Sunday the 1st at the same time. probably Sunday the 8th at the same time, and we'll probably need one the week of as well. For maybe, I don't know, that might just be for people who are putting the swag bags together.
Okay. Well, and I can help do that as well.
Awesome. So you can get into Spokane to do that?
Oh, yeah. I am actually retiring this Friday.
Oh, congratulations.
So even if
Wow.
it's during, thanks. Even if it's during a weekday, I could come up. It's not that far.
Awesome. Awesome. That's excellent. Thank you for offering that, Michelle. We'll definitely take you up on that. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for your time tonight. Megan, was there something you wanted to say, or you're just ready to ring off?
Yes. I definitely think we need to have one more call after we get the materials, because I won't be able to see you in person until Saturday. So just to like finalize the plan, like the show flow, at some point, I mean, if we get it Wednesday, that's kind of a tight window. So
yeah, I'm hoping that they'll release it earlier than that. I know they released the actual show flow earlier than that last time, just the Word document, but unfortunately it really didn't match up with the final materials. So yeah.
Yes, if we can fit one in there somewhere between release and day.
Yeah, I would say we probably should plan on that Thursday night.
Okay.
So the 12th. We should have the materials by then for sure.
Yeah, that works.
And that'll be our
traveling Friday. So
yeah, so that'll be our making sure we're all on the same page and ready to go meeting.
Okay.
So we'll do the next 2 Sundays, and then Thursday the 12th, all at 7 o'clock.
sounds good.
Sounds great. I'm so excited. Woo!
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Have a good evening, everybody.